Okay. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. Make sure I got music on. No, no music today. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. Make sure I got this right. All right. It is Wednesday evening. Welcome to another episode of Unapologetically Keith every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 9:30 to 10:30. I am your host, Keith K.L. Belvin, crisis specialist, who uses all of his talents, all of the things that God has given me to try to help folks, entertain them, educate them, as well as to help lift them from the negative places that they may be. And here we have some fun as well as we get to some subjects. Hey Toya, how you doing this evening? Good to see you. Good to see you. All right. So I want to do a little housekeeping. Let me just get my computer set up here, get things straight. Dealing with saying no. Tonight's combo is on saying no. How about that? Didn't want to be late tonight. I appreciate that. All right, first and foremost, before I get started, I want to say thank you to all of you in the group. Thank you and welcome to all of the new folks in the group. And I am beyond honored to have all you guys here. Hope that you guys enjoy the content and what my wife and I try to do, because behind the scenes, she is always the one that keeps me going. And before I go any further, I want to give a shout out, and I want to take a moment of silence for the brothers and sisters who have lost their lives in Kenosha, Wisconsin. We know that Jacob Blake is in the hospital paralyzed from being shot in the back 7 times. And then today, a 17-year-old white supremacist shot 3 people. 2 of them died. And the cops actually were driving by the white militias and saying thank you and tossing them water while screaming and yelling at the black protesters. And everybody seems to be focused on the rioting and the looting and all of that. And it's wrong, but it is an extension to when you feel disenfranchised. Hey Nikki, how we doing? When you feel disenfranchised, you lash out at whatever's close. So I want to take a few seconds, and I want to do a moment of silence for those folks, because if I could do more I would, but I just want to take a minute out before we get into and have some fun and all that. I just want to take a minute out. So if you join me, no messages, no nothing, we're going to go about 10 seconds. Let's have a moment of silence. All right, guys. These are some very, very, very dark times in this country. And I am going, hey, good evening, Kim. I am going to try, and hey, Nikki, I am going to try to uplift folks' spirit. I'm going to try to have some fun. But it has been tough. And I'm not one that gets caught up in watching the news. I just simply try to keep myself informed. But it's hard when you see where we are. But I know that things are going to get better. I believe that in my spirit. So tonight on Unapologetically Keith, we are dealing with saying no, learning how to say no. I did some research. Actually, where's the website that I got my information? I got to start giving some credit to some of the places that I find my information. I believe it was Psych Today. Where was it? What is that? Psych Central. Yeah, that's where I got the information from. PsychCentral.com. That's what I was on today. PsychCentral.com. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I got 6 areas that we're going to cover. And of course, anyone that you want to add to the conversation, by all means. So let me ask this question before I go any further. How many of you have issue with saying no? How many of you literally struggle with saying no? Be honest. How many of you in your mind be like, yo, if they ask me, I'm not saying nothing. And then they ask and you go, okay. How many of you struggle with saying no? Because I'm not going to lie to you, I don't. Listen, I'm going to tell you no, and I'm going to tell you no twice on Sunday, and I'm going to tell you no again, because I'm just not getting dragged into something I don't want to get dragged into. But I'm getting better. Okay. When you say getting better, what do you struggle with, Toya? What is one thing that you know you want to say no to, but then it's like, okay. And sometimes this can be work, this can be at home, this can be wherever. But we all know what we struggle with. And I think at times, we don't want to hurt people's feelings, but I have some I'm going to give you some tips. You don't struggle with saying, you struggle with really, honey? Really? Hey, Sarah. Yo, how you gonna come in here and blow me? I just said I don't struggle with no. I just said that. How you gonna come in here and just go sideways? I just said I don't struggle with saying no. Now hearing no, did you just tell me no? That's the Ike Turner in me, even though I never put my hands on anybody. Listening to some drama that repeats itself with certain folks. So I've gotten better at changing. I feel you. You'd be like, yeah, I don't want to hear this. But I got you. Okay, thank you for being honest. Anybody else have a problem with saying no? Since my wife done threw me under the bus, she's basically corroborating what I said, that I don't have an issue. I really don't. I'm like, no. And I listen. I'm so no. I used to until I realized no. Thank you. You just stole one of my lines tonight, Nikki. No is a complete sentence. No. No, no, no. You just stole one of my lines. I used to have a problem saying, not anymore. Yeah. Tiff, could you? No. Tiff, could you? No. Actually, my wife is very giving to me, but I'm teaching her to not be so giving to folks that are not giving to her. No, without no, and we're going to talk about it. I give them out. Let's go. Okay. So some of y'all have been peeking in on my list. No explanations. I feel you. The no has to come from, and we're going to go through. We're going to go through some of the ones that I have. But again, I just wanted to ask this question before we started. So again, welcome to Unapologetically Keith. The question is, do you have a problem with saying no? And if you do, what are some of the things that are a problem for you? Friends of my friends say, you have grown up when you can say no and not feel obligated to explain why. Without question. And so for me, one of the things that I don't have a problem with it, because you're just not going to put me in a situation I don't want to be in. And I don't care. And I say it all the time. If somebody has to be the bad guy, it might as well be me. Somebody got to wear the black hat. Might as well be me, because you're not going to get me to do what I don't want to do. So Tiff says, friends of friends say, you have grown up. Okay, when you're obligated to explain why. You really shouldn't have to explain why. And I'm not explaining my no. And the funny thing is, Tiff knows, I just went through that today. I gave a business no, and all of a sudden it was, why? Okay, you really want to know? Okay, and I told them, and they kind of was like, okay, you asked me, because I wasn't going to say nothing. I was very clear on what I said, but okay. And it's not going to turn around unless I want it to turn around. And then after they made some offers and talked about some things, I was like, okay, I'll say yes now because it benefits me. But you have to be able to place yourself in the mix to know. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I got 6 tips that I want to share with you tonight. And so again, I want to welcome everybody that's here. Let me just go through who I got so far. I seen Toya. We got my lovely wife Tiffany is here. I saw Nikki. Amy popped in. Let me see who else I got here. I can't see everybody. I cannot see. Okay. So I can't see everybody that's here. Let me do it this way. Makes it easier. No, I don't do that. All right. There we go. Okay. So Kim, Nikki, Tiff, Sarah, and Toya. That's who I got here. There we go. Okay. Cool. Just wanted to say hi. All right. So if you're ready for number 1 on my list, and these are the top tips for saying no, given to me by Psych Central. I researched them, psychcentral.com. So I got to give credit where credit is due. These I did not write myself. Sometimes I write them. Sometimes I get them from places. I want to start giving credit. It's the professional thing to do. So these I got from psychcentral.com. And these are tips on saying no. And if you're ready, put a number 1 in the chat room. It'll be the first one of discussion tonight. Put a number 1 in the chat room for the top tips on saying no. I'm going to teach you how to say no, other than be like, man, get out my face. Save that one, though. You might need that one to get out my face. And if you really get your broke at, you can do that one. You can get your, and then if you got to go to the curse word, you could do that too. I would prefer that you not go to the curse word, but if you need to put that exclamation on your no, it could be the MF no before or the no MF after. And if you just want to be firm with it, no. Give the head and the dip of the shoulders. All that works. Okay, give me a number 1, guys. Show that you're with me. Number 1, if you're ready to hear the first tip on saying no. All right, I don't need y'all saying no now. I need you to put something in the chat room. Let's go. All right, Kim says she's ready. Okay, Sarah says she's ready. Here we go. If I get at least one more, let's move on. All right, we got Kim and Sarah's ready. Okay, here we go. Top tip for saying no, number 1. Keep your response simple. And I think Nikki just said it as a complete sentence, but here we go. Keep your response simple. If you want to say no, be firm and direct. Use phrases such as, thank you for coming to me, but I'm afraid it's not convenient for me right now. I'm sorry, but I can't help you this evening. Try to be strong in your body language. Don't over apologize. Remember, you're not asking permission to say no. I think that's very important. You don't need permission to tell somebody no. And just look at that for a second. Now, some of those phrases I think were a little oaky for me, but I get it. And you play with it and tweak it any way that you choose to. Keep your response simple. To me, the simplest is, no, can't do that. Or if you really want to be truthful, nah, I'm not right. I don't want to do that. That doesn't work for me. Be honest. Here's what I learned with no's. The more truthful your no is, the less you got to worry about it. Oh man, no, that's not where my head is at. That doesn't work for me, bro. That doesn't work for me. I'm sorry, lady. You do your thing. Keep your response simple. If you want to say no, be firm and direct. Use phrases such as, thanks for coming to me, but I'm afraid it's not convenient right now. Or, I'm sorry and I can't help you this evening. Try to be strong in your body language and don't over apologize. Remember, you are not asking permission to say no. Strong in your body language is keeping your shoulders back, head up, look them right in the face. I'm sorry, no. And the reason why is be in control of your no. It's yours. You don't have to explain why that doesn't work for you. Now, if they ask you, yes, I'm always like, sorry, I can't. There you go. There you go. And actually, and I'm going to tell you something, Sarah, even with saying I can't, you can, you just don't want to. But if that's going to help get you out of it, you can rock with that. And then sometimes people that doesn't sit well with them because now they kind of like, what you mean you can't? Yeah, you can't. See, no. That doesn't work for me. No, I don't want to give you the money. No, I don't want to go. No, I don't like that place. You do you. See, to me, the more direct and more truthful you are, now how they feel about it, okay. You want to be upset? Okay. You don't want to talk to me no more? 7.4 billion people on this planet. I think I'll be okay. Anybody want to add to that? Anybody disagree? If that works for you, if that's your style, put a 1 in the chat room. If you're the short phrase, strong body language type, put a 1 in the chat room. Let me know what you think. And if it's not, we're going to go on. Because I think a couple of other ones are interesting when we go about it. Because if that is your style, that's cool. And I'm going to ask you towards the end, like, how is your style of no? Hey, Tony, how we doing, love? So I want to move on to number 2. Again, you know what? I'm going to get into any type of Q&A at the end. I'll definitely hang out and talk for a little while at the end today. I need it with all the negativity that's been going on. So number 2. You ready for number 2? Put a 2 in the chat room. Come on, let's keep it going. Put a 2 in the chat room if you are ready. because we just went through number one, which is keep your response simple. That's really it. Keep it simple. And I think once you keep it simple, it makes it easier for you, because sometimes, and Tiff told, I don't take no. I know that sometimes you can apply pressure, you can get that no turned into a yes, but I have to learn to accept no. That's my thing. Like she said, I'm like, no, man, come on. We're getting prepared for the start. Oh yes, and and Tony, my prayers are out to you guys in Houston and the New Orleans area. I had a partner that's in New Orleans that I checked in on him. All of you that are in the path of this hurricane, my prayers go out to you. Please be safe. It went from a tropical storm to Category 1 to up to Category 4. So please be careful. These are just some very difficult and dangerous times that we live in. And a young friend of mine is down in New Orleans trying to get his educational career together, and now he is in the midst of the path of a hurricane. But it is August, and this is hurricane time, and my lovely wife and I have been through Katrina, Sandy, and Dean. I have been through those three, and Edwards, and Katrina, and I think three others I can't think of. I've been through about 7 or 8 hurricanes because I used to love to travel in the month of August, and dealt with hurricanes in Cancun, in Puerto Rico, the Bahamas, New York, in Delaware, no, New Jersey. It's crazy. Jamaica, I almost forgot that, Jamaica. Okay, so again, my prayers go out to you, Tony. Please be safe. Oh, and by the way, Tony, I got to speak to the young man that the pastor wanted me to speak to. Wonderful young man. Thank you so much. I'm glad you invited me on the show, and it was a pleasure to speak to the young man. I hope I was able to offer him something that can help him in what he was dealing with. So I just wanted to give you a public thank you for that, Tony. I appreciate you. So again, if you're watching Unapologetically Keith every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And we are talking about tips to say no. So let's go. Toya said number 2. I ain't want to ignore you, Toya. Number 2, here we go. Buy yourself some time. Interrupt the yes cycle using phrases like, I'll get back to you. There you go, Sarah. I'll get back to you. Then consider your options. Having thought it through at your leisure, you'll be able to say no with greater confidence. So what Sarah says is actually number 2 with I'll get back to you. And that doesn't work for me, but I know that was one on the list. That saying, well, let me check, let me think, or let me get back to you on that. And you kind of stall and you be like, okay, now I done broke it up. Now I can either hit him with the text message or hit him with the call. Yo, bro, I thought about it. That's not going to work for me. How many people, now I know Sarah said that's her style. Anybody else use that method? The I'll get back to you method? Oh, actually, you know what? My lovely wife is a beast at that. They're going to ask you again. Very true, Toya, they are. My wife is the beast at that. I be sitting here sometimes and she on the phone. She be like, you know what? Let me call you right back. I'm like, here they go. She about to get the curve on. Tip is the curve queen. And I hear it coming too. She'll be in the car with me and she'll be like, you know what? Let me get right back. I'll be like, here we go. She pulls out the blade. Whoop. She ain't calling back. But I'm with you, Toya. When you do it like that, they go, hey, you said you was going to call me back. I've used that one several times. But the problem is the endorsement, they call back like, well, you know what happened? That's why I want to cut through all the foolishness. No. And when we say it to it again, no. But anybody else? Kim said yes, and give me a minute works for me. Okay, Kim uses that style. Kim, I know you say now. I've heard you tell people. Kim is rough. I do that too. Hey Tracy, hey Kim, welcome tonight. So Kim gives them the smooth. I'll get back to you in a minute. Tracy's like, I do that too. Okay, so I see number 2 resonates with some folks here, and there's nothing wrong with that. And there is no wrong way to say no. It is a problem when you don't get the no out. When you do things, even in service, as a man of God, I'm in service with trying to help people. But what I've learned is that there is a point when even in being in service, you have to say no. Even if I'm going to say no and let them feel no, I'm going to let them feel that I thought about it. Okay. And I think that's one of the things that I've come to learn, that even in service, because in what I'm into as a crisis specialist, People are going to call when they have problems, and I got that. Like now, I just got a DM with somebody asking me something about business. Well, I can't deal with that right now because I'm doing this. And what I've learned is that you have to condition people to understand if it's not an emergency, that's not something you call me for. And Tiff can tell you that my previous employer, before I left working for anybody else, my staff would call for some things that literally didn't make sense. And I literally sit there like, you called me at 5:45 in the morning to ask me something that you could have just searched for. And then I had to train them to understand, don't call me for that. So once I said it, or once I was like, don't call me. I'm not picking up the phone. And I'll deal with it when I get up. And I had no problem. And some of them were in shock, like, but I tried to reach you. Listen, you have a brain, use it. Number 3. You ready for number 3, guys? Come on, moving on. Let's see who uses number 3. So we see that some people use number 1, keep the response simple. And we see that some people use number 2, buying yourself some time. So you ready for number 3? Throw number 3 up in the chat room, moving forward. And let's see who's with me. Let me pop on and see who we got here tonight. We got Kim in the house. We got Nikki in the house. We got Tiffany. We got Toya. We got Tony here in the house. Let me see. Anybody else here? I saw Kim. We got 2 Kims in the house tonight. Okay. Tracy's here. Okay. We got a number 3. Moving on. We got 2 3s. Here we go. Moving on to number 3. All right. Let's see what we got going on here. Okay. Number 3. Now, this one I didn't like, but I'm going to give it to you because it's not for me to try to sway the way that you think. But I'm just going to tell you what number 3 is. Consider a compromise. Only do so if you want to agree with the... Let me start all over. Consider a compromise. Hey, T to the Y. Consider a compromise. Only do so if you want to agree with the request, but have limited time or the ability to do so. Suggest ways to forward to suit both of you. Avoid compromising if you really want and need to say no. See, I don't know who wrote this. Might have to speak to the author. Consider a compromise. Only do so if you want to agree with the request, but have limited time or availability to do so. Suggest ways to forward to suit both of you. Avoid compromise if it's not what you really want and need to say no. Man, listen. I consider compromising unless I really need to say no. See, I feel you, Tip, but I'm not. I'm only compromising if I need something at that moment that's going to connect to me. I'm not compromising when I really feel like saying no. Because remember, the key is not getting the work done. The key is the no we're talking about. Yes, you compromise if you're trying to get some things done. But if you really want to say no, why am I compromising? That's why when I read that, I kind of was like, I don't really want to offend them. But if the no is the no, and again, you guys are pretty much clear where I am with it. But if the no is the no, is the compromise really going to, and I guess it can work. So I see all the no's to the compromise and only if necessary. So what would be necessary? Like, give me when necessary, Tiff and Tony. You guys have said, meaning it depends on the situation. Okay, so I got you. Can you give me an example? Can you give us an example for anybody that might be rocking out with us tonight, or Tiff? When is a good time to compromise? I probably could figure one out, but since I have you guys in, what do you guys think? What's a good one for you? What would be a good compromise when you really wanted to say no, but you kind of compromise? Would that be professionally or would you be personally? Anybody got any examples for me? So Tiff says, as a supervisor, I have to weigh the needs of the business with my employees' request. Okay. But how do you compromise? Does that mean just compromise in terms of the business, or compromise simply because you want to be able to work your employees' request into what they say? Toya says, when they ask to borrow a certain amount of money, but you compromise for a lower. Okay, I want to give you, but I can't give you that. Okay, I got you. But is that compromise, Toya, or negotiation? And Tracy said, it's in your tone of how you say no, without question. Listen, no. I think they get it at that point, don't you think, Tracy? No. You ain't hear me? No. But Toya, is that a negotiation or a compromise, or is a compromise and negotiation the same thing? I think they could be in the same boat, but I think the compromise might be a little different. That's just me. Anybody want to add to that? And Tiff, as a supervisor, you say I have to weigh in. Now, is that when you say the needs of the business with those employees' requests? I got you, Toy. It could be both. Okay. So when you say that, Tiff, is it the compromise because of what the company may want and what the employee wants? So you broker that as the supervisor, or compromise based on if we can still get the job done without major concessions? I figured that's where you're going with it. I thought, okay, makes sense. I get that. And in the business sense, yeah, I can see how compromises can work. That was never really my thing when I was in the classroom, but I did compromise because if that's what the New York City Department of Education is requiring, then I would try to figure out what I could get out of it, because I might have wanted to say no, but if I wasn't in the best position, then yes, I could see compromise. So I can't say that I have not used that one, to be honest. Tony says, if someone asks me to pick something up and I purchase something they want me to come all the way, I tell them you have a way to meet me. Okay, I can rock with that. That they gotta, at least if you want me to get that, you gotta give me some gas money or something. Okay, I can work with that. So instead of saying no, and that's a good one, thank you, that clears up some thing for me. Yes. So then, yeah, I would say I compromise. Sometimes the wife will be like, could you get me? And I really want to say no. I'm like, all right, but look, can you do the dishes? Can you do? Yes. Well, I don't dishes. I ain't doing dishes. We be fighting over the dishes. Actually, I just did the dishes the other day. Yeah, got it done. But yeah, okay. So compromise, I can rock with compromise. Yeah. Now that I think it, I was might have thought a little too quickly on that one. So yes, I would have to put a check. Let me put a check next to that one. I would put a check next to that one, that I have definitely used compromise. Now that I think about it professionally, business wise, I mean, personally, I'm not sure. Um, me and Tiff compromise all the time, so I'm not so much saying no, but we have no problem saying no. So 1 and 3, I definitely rock. I don't know, 2, yeah. I used to have to use 2 when I was at work. I try to be a good husband. Well, listen, I got to be at home with the little one all day, every day, every day. And Tiff is at work, but my logic is my baby is going out here and being out in the world with this coronavirus. The least I could do is try to knock down the dishes when she come in. And I do cook dinner every night, so for the most part. And sometimes she'll cook. Like she was off today, so she cooked. But for the most part, I get dinner ready. And I try to have things in order for her when she comes in. The first thing she does have to do is go take a shower. Get all that. Don't bring nothing from outside. Put the dirty clothes in the laundry. Go in the shower. Then you can hang out with us. That is the routine. And that's what it is for now, because this is what we have to do to keep ourselves safe, because this COVID thing is no joke. You made her, you. I have no problem, Kim, with watching her. Actually, I am actually glad to be home to watch her, so I have no problem with that. And when Tiff gets in, Tiff takes the baton at that point, because I do most of my counseling sessions in the evening. I don't do a lot of counseling sessions during the day because I want to try to keep an eye on her. I do have some meetings every now and then, so I kind of set her up to watch television or to get some things done. But for the most part, since she's not going to school, or since she has not gone to school back in March, she's been home with daddy every day. But she has a whole learning routine that she does her Khan's Academy, she does her studying of Chinese, she does her math, Prodigy Math, and then we hang out, and then I get my work done, because I still got to work too, because I'm working and doing what I got to do from here. So, you balance it out. But yeah, I take care of that. So back on the subject of no's. Y'all guys about to get me talking about me as a husband. I try to do my thing as a good husband. So we are moving on to number 4, halfway there, guys. Put a 4 up in the chat room. Let's get back focused on what we're talking about. And if you are just joining us while the 4s are going up, you are watching Unapologetically Keith every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 9:30 to 10:30. This is where it all goes down. It goes down in the chat room. We have some incredible folks in the chat room. So if you ever want to learn anything, check out the chat room. There's one number 4. Where's the rest of the number 4s? And we're going to move on to the next one. And again, thank you for all of you guys that are watching. I appreciate you all. And again, Kim, Nikki, Tiffany, Toya, Tracy, appreciate you. Sarah, I missed you the last time. Got you. Toya, got you. All right, number 4. We got a number 4 from Toya. Okay, here we go. The number 4 thing that makes the tips for saying no is separate refusal from rejection. Remember, you're turning down a request, not a person. People usually will understand that is your right to say no, just as it is your right, just like it is their right to ask you for a favor. So they're saying, so the person that wrote this saying, separate refusals from rejection. Remember, you're turning down a request, not a person. People usually will understand that it is your right to say no, just as it is their right to ask. Now, this right here is a cultural difference, because when you talk about the refusal, separate the refusal from the rejection, I guess you ain't been in the hood. Because in the hood, you say no to some people, they take it personal. So number 4 is strictly cultural, because I was reading this and I said, remember, you're turning down a request, not a person. People usually understand that it is your right to say no. I'm like, where they do that at? Because in the hood, you say no, and the person be like, word, really? Word, that's how you feel? That's your word? Really? And you like, okay, I said no. Oh, so it's like that. And then here comes my favorite 2 words, emotional blackmail. Oh, but yo, when you asked me, but when you wanted, but when you said, and when you needed, and so I can't say no without being blackmailed into giving you what you want. So number 4 is definitely cultural, because in urban environments, certain folks of color take that no very personal. Thank you. And that's where it comes. Classic guilt trips. It's called emotional blackmail, Toya, where a person takes your emotions and tries to blackmail you into what they want by bringing up what they've done for you, how you feel for them, and anything else that they can remotely use to push you into a corner to make you feel uncomfortable about your own position. Now, Tiff, if Tiff is still here, Tiff used to go through that with her mother and grandmother, right, Tiff? Are you still on? I don't know. Is Tiff still here? Yeah, I can see that she's still here. And they literally would call, ask Tiff for something. You guess I'm not hood enough. Oh, you hood enough, Kim. Don't give me that. You just ain't going for the foolishness. But Tiff would literally say no, and all of a sudden, all this emotional baggage would be, they would attempt to try to toss it on her mom and grandmother. And she would get off the phone with one and be on the phone with the next one and literally couldn't say no. And what was funny was Tiff had figured it out. For certain things, I'll give Keith the phone. She'd just be like, hold on a second. You know, maybe you might want to ask. Or she would go, I don't know. You got to ask Keith. And I'd look and go, okay, give me the phone. No, you can't have no money. No, we can't come over. I was waiting for you at the door. So Tip would be like, and I would literally hear her in the car like, but that's not the case, Mom. You can't say that, and you can't do this. And literally, they would be running through a list of emotional things. But I'm your mom, and I'm your grandma, and I would go through the same thing. My mother would have the straight pity party. God rest her soul. So your mom can't. So you just can't do that for your mom? No. So are you gonna act like you're not my son? I'm gonna be your son with this no, and I'm gonna be your son after this no, and I'm gonna still be your son before this no, whatever. No. And my mother would try, and then she'd get all emotional, and she'd work herself up on her own pity. So let me get this right. Hook a brother up. That's what goes down in the hood too. Yes, let me get some of that. No. Oh, word. That's your word, son. I can't get no. And in school, come on. Everybody that's been in school, stop front. You into your sandwich. You into your food. Your moms are very good. Yes, moms are very great at that. You were into your sandwich. You were, hey, what's going on, Mr. Except my man Mike Jacobs in the crib. Great to see you here, Mike. Now, come on, don't act like I'm the only one. You into whatever you eating and somebody come over, yo, let me get some of that. Nah, man, come on, this is my lunch. Oh, word, I can't get none. That's your word. And then some cats used to get so upset, they slapped your food out of your hand because you told them no. Really? Where they do that at? New York City. Don't act like I'm the only one. Just this one time, please. Yes, Toya. And Kim, yes, moms are very good at this. They would all try to hit you in the heart. So, but when you needed money last week, Man, never asked for my food. Oh, I'm glad you're here, Mike. Enjoy yourself, bro. Enjoy yourself. Great group of people here. Mike, you're going to love yourself. You're going to love it here, bro. Enjoy yourself. So that's another one, too. Just this one time, let me tell you something. Folks will find any excuse to, hey, okay, Kim, you have a good night, dog. Good to see you always. Thank you for popping in. And the idea is, it's like I quit at 19 years with my mom. Oh, listen. And it's funny is I actually watched this with Tiff, and I watched Tiff mature in this aspect because they used to run her ragged. And she literally would get off the phone emotional, like, I don't know why my family goes at me like this. And I was like, yo, put your feet down and just no. Just get at it. Because they were so used to her saying yes that the no came as a shock. That they would literally be in shock when she said no. And even now, Tiff is a very giving person that some people think that they can maneuver that. Oh, hey, Michelle, what's going on? Oh, we're talking about tips on saying no. Tonight, we're talking about tips on saying no. And we're about to move on to number 5. I'll recap if I have time at the end for you, but we're on number 5. Never ending. Very true, Kim. Very true, Toya. And the funny thing is, and okay, I got a question for you guys. Here's one. Who's worse with receiving the, well, I already know I'm gonna take myself out of the mix. Are men or women, which one is worse at receiving the no? Put it in the chat room. Which one is worse at receiving the no? Men or women? I'm gonna wait on this one. I can't, because I know I'm horrible with it. I ain't even gonna lie to you. Tiff has already outed me. I knew you was gonna say men. You can't think about your husband though. Take your husband off the table. So we got Toya. Toya, get off the fence. Get off the fence. Yes, it's a general question. I'm not trying to offend anybody, Toya. Get off the fence. Pick one and tell me why. Kim said mothers, so we going with the women. Kim said the mothers. T to the Y said it depends. I'm starting to think it's men. Get off that fence, T to the Y. You come on, dog. You a very opinionated dude. Give me some of that opinion. Get off that fence. Oh, Tony said the men. Nikki said the men. Come on, T to the Y. I have seen you blow people up on your Instagram page. So come on, bro. Stop playing. And Toya, stop playing. Because you know you're an opinionated woman. Oh, we got Tracy that says women. Michelle says men. I am going to tell you, and not because I'm just fighting back because I know I have issues with no. I am going to say women. Because I think some women get so offended at the no that then I'm going to do it myself. They don't take that no too well. So I'm going to say by a small margin, I'm going to say women. And not because my wife threw me under the bus either. I'm going to say women. By a small margin. There's a lot of men out there that don't know how. Men only if they're mama's boy. See, that's what that came from. And the views of the people in the chat room are not just the views of the host. I'm just saying. But yes, Kim, some mama boys, and not just mama boys. There's some players out there don't know how to deal with no either. Tony says my sons are sensitive and get all in their feelings. If someone tells them no, it has to be good for me. Yeah, listen, I really think, I know, you know what, now y'all starting to sway me. Maybe I might have to change. Now I'm going to get off the fence. I just told Toya and T to the Y to get off the fence. I'm sticking with women. I still think women by a small hair, about half a hair. It's hard for people to tell me no. Oh, really? Hard for them to tell you no? Or they just don't want to tell you no because they know what's going to happen. Let me find out you out here slapping people, Tony. So moving on, guys. Let's go on to number 5. What time is it? It is 10 after 10. We got time. So again, thank you for joining us on Unapologetically Keith. Every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. We are having a ball as we do every other day during the week. So give me a call when you can straighten them out. Give you a call. I feel you, Kim. Tracy said they can get very catty and nasty. Yeah, here we go. I told you. That is a conversation, I'm telling you. Okay, so number 5. Give me a number 5 in the chat room, guys. Let's move to number 5 because I'm going to go back over if I have time. Unless I want candy or meat, I will get it. I'm not. Tony, you just messed me up with that one. She said, unless I want candy or meat, I will get enough. Oh, I'm not going to ask you to explain that. I'm just going to say, I hear you. Thank you, T to the Y. Because we talk about candy and meat. That could go in so many directions. I'm going to leave that one alone. We'll save something like that for Friday when my wife is on with me. So number 5. Here we go. We got a couple of 5s. All right, let's see. Men can't handle being told no, especially when asking for the cookie. See, that's why I knew it. I knew Tony. I knew Tony's gonna open up the door. See, now Michelle heard that we not talking about cookies, WAP, meat. We not none of that tonight. It's Wednesday. It's hump day. Oh, it's hump day. No, anyway, I'm sorry. We not, number 5. Talking about the cookie. Don't nobody want to hear no at that time anyway. I take, see? Never mind. Let me get something to drink here. Messing with y'all. We talking about meat and cookies. What kind of show is this? All right, number 5. Next is going to be the chili pepper, right? You got to watch last Friday's show. Okay. Number 5. Don't feel guilty for saying no to your here's one. Don't feel guilty for saying no to your children. It's important for them to hear no from time to time so they develop a sense of self-control. It's hard to negotiate adult life without these important skills. Rather than cave into their protests, let them know who is in charge by setting boundaries. Oh no, not the chili pepper emoji. That will be a forever classic. If anybody doesn't know what the chili pepper emoji is, go back to last Friday's show. And shout out to Pam for telling us about the chili pepper emoji. Woo! Anyway, so don't feel guilty for saying no to your children. It is important for them to hear no from time to time so they can develop a sense of self-control. It's hard to negotiate adult life without those important skills. Rather than cave into their protests, let them know who is in charge. Let me tell you something. Thank you, Kim. Absolutely. It drives me crazy when I see adults out negotiating with their children. You the parent. Now, I'm a family therapist. Let me say this right now. Pretty much all week, 6 days a week, I am counseling children and parents on how to be able to deal with it. And these are children that are mandated by the state for me to work with. So they're in crisis. But one of the things that I have come to notice in my 22 years in the education field and all of my folks who work with people directly, it doesn't have to deal with education. If you work with people, we have all seen adults that we know did not get told no when they were younger. It is one of the worst things in the world. And when you see children acting a fool and the parent is negotiating with them, I sometimes want to step in and be like, may I spank your child because that's what they need, or may I help you out because, and sometimes cultural things. I've seen some kids say some things to their parents that I wouldn't be here now if I ever said to my mother when I was younger. If I had ever told my mom to get the F out my face and I was under 10, she'd have said, I got other children. Lights out. They wouldn't have found the body. Because I see some children nowadays, and it's not just cultural, but in black families, there's just some things you're not gonna say. So true. No has made my sons dependent. There you go. True story. I told my niece she couldn't come live with me after using me. It helped her get an apartment and be on her own since. I did the same with, let me get the rest there. Oh, hold on a second. I did the same with my sons. Okay, because I couldn't get on the phone. Me too. And let me tell you something, guys. KL hears no all the time. And I don't even help her when she's trying to figure out certain problems. Go figure it out. Use all your resources first before you come to me and say, Daddy, can you help me? No, I can't. Go figure it out. Now, could I? Of course I could. But I have to teach you how to use that brain in your head by creating situations where you can fail. I did it in the classroom, and I used to try to explain to teachers, create scenarios where kids cannot get it. Don't tell them, though. Watch them struggle. then give them little hints that you know don't go anywhere. Let them work with each other. Let them talk. Let them go through, and you'll see the smart kids start to go crazy. But Mr. B, this ain't making no sense. But how am I supposed to do this? And come on, but come on, Mr. B, I'm gonna fail. And I'd sit there, figure it out. Come on, this ain't fair, Mr. B. You can't do this. What am I supposed to do? Sit, show, and figure it out. Knowing the whole time they can't. Knowing the whole time they can't. Why? Because I'm building character. Because what do you do when you can't? How do you know you've reached that end? And you know what the funniest thing is? So-called kids who are at the bottom level don't get as stressed. They'll literally say, "Sit your ass down, man. The man told you what to do." Now, they may not know what to do, but they know what they were told to do. And inside your home, now this is real talk, inside your home, if we give to our children before they earn it, we're hurting them. And I'm going to say that again. If we give to our children without them earning it, we're hurting them. We're hurting them in relationships. We're hurting them in their professional career. Yes, I figured it out, like that, building character. Yes, because do you know that some of them won't go after another job because they heard no in one interview, and because they're not emotionally equipped, they shut down? No builds character, especially from a parent. And I don't care how young you are as a parent, but the thing is, then get help. Get help. When your child is yelling and screaming and crying, you don't go out and buy a Pepsi and slap the nipple on it just because the sugar's going to keep them quiet. Then when you wonder why your child running around here like a space cadet and you can't figure it out, it's because you gave an infant pop. Man, these kids today don't get it. I see. No, it's not just these kids today. Who put that? It's not just these kids today, Toy. I can tell you, it was when I was young too. And I'm 52 years old. It's been going on since the dawn of time. Because we have too many parents. I'm not sure. There, let's get the encyclopedia. Thank you. Let's go use the resources. It's the parents, and it's been going on since the dawn of time because some parents don't want to ask for assistance and they don't know what they're doing. So they figure they're going to do whatever. Put the child in front of the television. Give the child soda. Give the child things that they shouldn't have. Give the child anything that's going to pacify the behavior instead of dealing with it. And often it's because they don't have the equipment or the resources or the faculties themselves. So they make it up as they go along. I watch new teachers go through this too. I watch new teachers sit inside a classroom and the kids are literally swinging back and forth like gremlins. Woo, F you. Ooh, excuse my language. Woo, F you and everything else. And I'm like, so you just gonna let that rock? I don't know what to do. Mr. B, they won't sit down. They won't be quiet. I walk to the door and don't say a word, and they all run back to their seats. And I stand at the door and I go, so what was the problem here? What you think about Trump's assistant's daughter lashing out at social media because she worked for Trump, what's her behavior? Trump assistant's daughter. I don't know what happened, okay, yeah, Kellyanne Conway. I'm with that. She's asking for emancipation because she's saying that she was abused. And if we don't know how bad that abuse is, I'm not mad at her for lashing out. I read some of that last night. Kellyanne Conway's 15-year-old daughter is on Twitter dragging both of them. Now I see why she's quitting and why what's the name? The husband is quitting and they're getting off social media. Let me see. So Michelle says, yes, parents can be too permissive. They never know what it's like to hear no and teach. Yes, you can't teach what you don't know. You know what you know. My mother would tell me my mother would tell me any lie, and any mistakes I would tell her, she was like, wrong. Oh boy. Yeah. And that's the thing, guys. And I'm so glad we have a lot of parents here because this cuts across a lot of things. Personally, professionally, romantically, you can see when you're dealing with men and women who are spoiled and their parents continue to spoil them. Mama's, the daddy's girl and mama's boys, we see it. And parents don't realize that first interaction with anybody is with you. And if you're feeding nasty and negative behaviors, it's going to be in a bad place. Now, back to Kellyanne Conway's daughter. If you listen to what she said, she was saying that, I can't believe, Mom, you spoke on stage for that man because you dealing with him has destroyed our family. Now, should she have went to social media? Probably not. But if she felt that was her only way for her voice to be heard, I don't care how the word gets out about the abuse as long as it gets out. Now let's deal with it. And I know because some of the kids, I just had a conversation with a young man tonight. I'm so happy that he opened up and had a conversation. It was our first meeting. And now my job is to keep him talking so we can start to work on what's wrong. But when I see parents who don't want to address behaviors, and you know what's funny? Let me tell you, and if I'm wrong, check me out on this. Put a 1 if you've seen this. And I'm going to, what time is it? Okay. Put a 1 in the chat room if you've seen this. When you're doing what you're supposed to do as a parent, your own child will go, why they act like that, Mommy? Tell me if I'm wrong. Where's the lie? Put it 1 in the chat room if you have seen what I just said, that when you're doing it right as a parent, your own child will go, why they act like that? Why he talk like that? Why she do that? When you're doing it right, thank you for the multiple 1s. When you are doing it right, your own children will go, whoo, not my mama. My mama would kill me. Because when your child is raised the right way, they will literally think that what they're looking at is crazy. Literally look at like, you got to be kidding me. Why are his pants hanging from you know what? Okay. I'm going to be on a little longer than 10:30. I'm going to give you a quick story before I go to number 6 about that, Toya. One day, like my son lives in Marine Park. My 2 sons from my previous relationship, my previous marriage, live in Marine Park. So I'm coming down, what is that, Flatbush. I'm coming down Flatbush where Flatbush meets Flatbush and Flatlands. So I'm coming down Flatlands right by the depot. They live right near the depot where that 7-Eleven is. And so I was coming that way. I was coming the other way from Kings Plaza. So I said, let me swing by and see if my sons happen to be outside. I was going to swing by. I don't have any children, any nieces, and niece. Thank you. There you go, teacher wife. My sons will never bring another one around when I know he's dating. Oh, okay. We got to talk about that. How are they still living? Okay. Yep. Parents would not listen to her. Emancipation is her cry for help. Exactly. There we go. Definitely. And we can keep talking about that. So as I came down Flatlands, I'm getting ready to make the right. I see my son and all his friends jump off the bus. So it's my son and about 6 guys. They're all off the bus just getting home from school. And that's when I was teaching. And I had got off early. So I'm coming around the corner and I see my son. His pants got to be like halfway down his behind. Drawers out and everything. Now, my sons know I don't play that. My sons know that is unacceptable behavior. I don't care what everybody else is doing. As my mother taught me a long time ago, the hood is where we live. The hood is not how we think. That's what saved my life. So now they walking across into the parking lot of 7-Eleven. I'm creeping up behind them like a stalker. I pull into the little parking space, and my son and them is all standing right there in the front trying to figure it out. They don't even have any idea that I'm there. I get out the car and said, so this is what the hell we do with our pants? And he turned around and said, I'm sorry, sir. And he damn near pulled his pants up around his chin. But here's what's funny is, all 6 of the other guys grabbed their pants too. When they saw how my son reacted to me, and I mean sheer terror, when they saw how my son reacted to me and pulled his pants up, they pulled theirs up too. And I said, so let me get this right. Everybody out here wearing their pants like that, and you feel that's okay. Now, I didn't speak to any of you. I wasn't speaking to nobody else's child, but I'm damn sure going to talk to mine. And I said, so this is what you do when I'm not around? This is what you do when you know that's not acceptable to me? And you could just see him. He was searching for the words. He was so scared. Now, I wasn't going to beat him. And the funny thing is I haven't had to beat him. The fear came because I put that in them when they were younger that, yo, don't embarrass me and don't embarrass yourself. That I've never had to beat them. They just were so fearful of getting it that so then I said, so let me ask you young men something. Why'd y'all pull up your pants? They didn't even know. And I said, well, if you did it because you were fearful of what I was going to do to my son, then what are you doing out here in the streets like that? And they weren't sure. I used to pull my son's pants all the way down. Damn, Tony. When they were young, now they can't believe. They said, ain't time that. You got to be careful, Tony. You might expose a lot more than the world was ready to see. Because if you'd have caught some draws with that, they'd have been like, So you got to be careful. All right, last one. Tony out here snatching off her pants. And yes, Michelle, I do agree. The emancipation was a cry for help, and it's not done yet because it garnered a lot of attention. She was actually trending last night, so it garners a lot of attention. Hey, A Fox. We got the lovely A Fox in the house. Welcome, 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 love. All right, last one, guys. Last one. Put a number 6 in the chat room. So the last one of the top tips for saying no. You are watching Unapologetically Keith every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 9:30 to 10:30. Well, around 10:30. It might be 10:45 by the time we finish. But every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, this is what we do. Put those 6s up so we can do the last one tonight. These are the top tips for saying no. We have had some wonderful answers. I would definitely say go back into the chat room and check them out because I love what goes down in the chat room. Okay, so we have at least 2 6s from Toya and my man Michael, and we got Tony. All right, last one. Be true to your, number 6, be true to yourself. Be clear and honest with yourself about what you truly want. Get to know yourself better and examine what you really want from life. So I'm like, really? Okay, but that's what number 6 was. And again, these came from the site was psychcentral.com. Psychcentral.com. Oh, we got Katisha here, and we got Tracy, and I saw, okay, that's the only new person I saw come in. Okay, we got Lisa popped in. Okay, there we go. Welcome, Lisa. Appreciate you. So we got a few people that came in towards the end. So the last one is be true to yourself. Be clear and honest with yourself about what you truly want. Get to know yourself better and examine what you really want for life. Now, I believe that when the person wrote, whoever wrote this, they just wanted to end it with something philosophical because you don't have to be that deep in a no. Okay? You don't have to be that deep in telling somebody no. If that works for you, that's cool. But the no is not that serious because it's something that you're going to give people on a regular basis. Never be scared to tell somebody no. Okay, if they react negative, we'll deal with it. If they can't take it, we'll deal with it. But your no is your own. And the one thing I've come to learn on social media is that no is a wonderful thing. No and okay. A lot of times people are, okay. That's actually my form of no. Okay. I don't need to say no more than that. Okay. Yeah, okay. That's it? Yeah, that's it. I heard you. I heard you, okay, and no. I heard you. And occasionally, no worries. No worries. Because there's nothing else that needs to be said. And so what I'm hoping that you get tonight, guys, is that wherever you fall on the list, whatever way works for you to get your no out, use it. But don't allow yourself to be put into something or to say something or to do something that you're not comfortable with. Regret is a horrible thing because often regret comes because we could have did something different. And anytime you think that you could have did something different, it's not a cool place to be. Real quick, I'm going to go through all 6 real quick because we have some people that chimed in towards the middle and towards the end. And I want to thank everybody that's here, whether you came in at the beginning, whether you were here in the middle, or you left. I appreciate you because I know Kim left earlier. So number 1 was keep your response simple. I'm not going to go through all of the reading that's connected to him. Number 1 was keep your response simple. Number 2, buy yourself some time, interrupt the yes cycle with the I'll get back to you on that. Number 3, consider a compromise. I'll do that, but you got to do this for me. So that y'all swayed me on that one. Tony swayed me on that one, and my wife swayed me on that one. Number 4, separate refusal from rejection. Again, that was the cultural one because certain urban folks, you say no, they take it personal. Or you say something, they take it personal because they're not used to not getting their way. So number 5, don't feel guilty for saying no to your children. Man, that's the circle one for me because like I said, I have such an issue when I see parents not disciplining their children by telling them, no, you can't have. No, you can't have. Don't allow yourself to be put into somebody else's box. Without question, Michelle. Without question. And like I said for number 5, there's nothing wrong with telling your child no. But I want it, so. Okay, you want it. That don't change my no. I'm glad to know that, but no, you can't have it. And the last one, be true to yourself, which should be number 1 to me, because you should always be true to yourself. There's always going to be somebody that don't like you. There's always going to be somebody who undervalues you. There's always going to be somebody who's going to attempt to use emotional blackmail to get what they want from you. But you have to be true to yourself. And what's the term? To thyself, to thy own self, be true. To thy own self, be true. And the only way you can do that is you first have to acknowledge that you and the way that you feel and the way that you think are important, which makes your no even more important. And I think it was Tracy that said no, or no, it was that said, is it Kim? One of the Kims that said no is a complete sentence. I think she said it earlier. I want to make sure I quote the right person, but no is a complete sentence. Nikki said it was no. There you go. I forgot to get Nikki. Nikki said no is a complete sentence earlier. I remember her saying it, and she's right. I feel that way all the time. No is a complete sentence. And we tend to forget that because, some people don't know how to deal with that. Okay, and it is not my job to worry about how you feel about what I say if I'm coming from a truthful place. Now, I can apologize if you feel a certain way. And then after that, it is what it is. And I don't have to rock with you, and they don't have to rock with me. I have no problem with anybody who cuts me off. And I cut people off all the time. Now, they may not know that they cut off. They'll figure it out because they'll go, he hasn't spoken to me in a while. I'm not going to. Because I don't need to get into a whole drawn out thing of why I don't speak to you, especially if you're not that important to me. I think we attempt to give people greater explanations than we should. I will have a back and forth with you, very short. And then in my mind, I go, what am I doing? They're not that valuable to me. Take care. 7.4 billion people on the planet. You think I'm going to lose sleep over one? And you need that thick skin. My daddy's famous speech before he went to the store. Don't look. I think everybody's parent felt that way. I know my mom did. My mom was forever threatening us. Me either. I'm the same way. My mom was always, I tell my mom, I said, the way you raised us was considered child abuse, right? She was like, you got 2 master's degrees, right? I was like, that's how you justify, Mom, that I did okay? Well, listen, guys, it's, hello, we're right about 10:30. So any questions, any comments, anything? Hopefully me and the lovely wife will be on Friday. So I'm not sure what we're going to talk about on Friday. But again, if you have any subjects that you want to converse about or any subject that you'd like me to, look up and just post it in the group or hit me in the inbox and say, hey, Keith, what about this? And there's a lot. So don't get offended if I don't do it the very next day or the next week that you give it to me. I'm going through them and trying to figure out how I'm going to present, because some of them are actually very deep. So I'm not sure if I need to do 1 or 2 shows. Like when we did the domestic violence, that was 5 shows, as well as us getting together on Zoom. So that's like, no, it was 7 shows because we did the 6 with Color Purple and then we did the Zoom. So it's 7 shows dedicated to that, and each one was subtly different. And I am so much better that Tony and Tony introduced me to or asked me to do that subject. So thank you so much, Tony, and I'll keep singing your praises. But I just want to say to all of you, thank you so much every day that you show up here. I'm going to keep showing up. This is what I do. Also, we have the Bible study group. So if anybody wants to join the Bible study group, because this weekend, we're actually going to be tackling mental health in the church and what the responsibilities of the pastors are in dealing with mental health. I'm going to be asking some pastors that are in the group to tackle that question, and we're going to do that on Zoom. It'll be live streamed into the group itself so folks can watch it. Again, each week I'm putting together the services that some of you have asked for, and we're going to roll some of those out very soon. My counseling practice is growing. I just was able to connect with a person today that now will be able to take Medicaid and insurance payments with the gentleman that I'll be working with. So now anybody who comes and needs assistance, I don't have to turn them away if they can't afford what I charge initially. They can use their insurance now here in Delaware. So I'm growing there. Hopefully I get invited back to the school that I'm working at to do the consultations that I do. The word is that they're going to have me come back. They're just not sure what capacity they want to use me. But either way, I come in as a consultant and work with the young men at the detention center. So I'm very happy about that. I just added a couple more clients this week. So I'm doing some things that, I'm trying to put myself in the best position possible to be able to help you in whatever way. But I want to say to all of you, thank you for being here. And remember that, thank you, Tony. I appreciate it. And again, that young man that I spoke to, Dadrian, I think is his name. It was fantastic to speak to him. And we had a chance to talk and pray. And I'm just happy for the brother. I wish him luck in whatever direction he's going in. He has my number if he needs to call me to help. When you see me use that hashtag, we can fix this, it is because I really feel that way. I really believe that we can fix the problems that we have. And Gandhi said, you must be the light that you want to see in the world. That's what I'm doing. And because I work for myself, this is what I do. I own my 2 companies. And my 2 companies my publishing company is in place to be able to create the word, the books that I feel that I want to see in the world, work with the authors that I want to see in the world. My consulting company is in place because I want to be able to offer help to those who need it. I do family therapy right now. That's the bulk of my work, but I'm at the detention center. I work with adults. I do family counseling. So I am living my truth. I'm not just here telling you that I do it. I'm living it, because you can't say you want to help and then not make yourself available. So again, word of mouth, word of mouth, word of mouth. Tell people that we're here. Let people come and check us out. We had some exciting new people. My brother, Mike Jacobs, if you're still around, that's a brother that I grew up with. Love the brother. He's here. Great to see him. We got some of the brothers here. I didn't see Flex tonight, and I haven't seen Larry, but we do have some of the men that are popping in. And JJ hit me up inbox, but he wasn't here. And you ladies that show up all the time, I appreciate you. I try to make this entertaining for you for that hour. So I hope that when you tune in, you're getting something from it. So if you got something out of tonight, let's see what number we got. Throw a 7. Let's go a divine number. Put a 7 in the chat room if you got something out of tonight's conversation. It's an ego trip thing for me. So throw a 7 in the chat room as we get ready to close this out and I say goodnight. Throw a 7 in the chat room if you got something from tonight's show. And I will definitely be ready on Friday. Shout out to Kim, who hit me up early and was like, what's tonight's show about? I was like, I posted it. I got you. So I appreciate her. That lets me know that she's eager and interested in what's going on. So again, thank you so much. Appreciate it, Mike. Appreciate it. Welcome, brother. And I hope that you come back. Thank you for the 7. Where did 10 come from, Tony? You just gave me an extra 3. I'll take that, though. Or I got a 10. Okay, that's perfect. But Mike, yeah, appreciate you, Mike Jacobs, man. Come on through anytime. T to the Y. Tony, thank you, guys. And we goes down, and you got to be careful, because every now and then it starts to go sideways with some dirty conversation. We got some adults in here, so I got to be very careful, especially on Friday with my wife here. 1 or 2 dirty comments, and it goes off the railings. I don't know where we're gonna go. We got meat, candy, and cookie tonight, so I don't know where it's going to go on Fridays, especially when folks ain't got to go to work in the morning on Saturdays. But I will let you know what we're going to talk about. Tiff had a conversation about men who are using or preparing to use women on a conversation she overheard. I'm not sure if we're going to talk about that. Hey, Tiffany, how you doing? Got here. Appreciate you jumping in. Appreciate it, Mike. We'll be here Friday, same time, 9:30. But Tiff talked about overhearing a man that was planning on using a woman for somewhere to live and something like that. I told her that might be a conversation. So I'm not sure what we're going to talk about on Friday. But I am trying to get the wife to join in on Fridays, and so you'll see us together. But I definitely appreciate you guys. And again, remember, hey, Tiff, you're going to have to watch the replay, Tiff. You got here a little late, but I'm so glad you're here. Appreciate you. But again, guys, let folks know that we're here. I'm here, and we'll be here Friday, 9:30, 10 o'clock. We're definitely going to be dealing with something that deals with relationships, because when the wife and I are together, that's one of the things that we're going to cover. So we might even take this men or women thing a little bit. We might have to deal with the other side of no's, dealing with no's. I don't know. I'll figure it out. And if you have any suggestions that you would like my wife and I to cover on Friday, drop it in the chat room. No bags on your visits. Don't stay. You ain't staying that long. Get up out of here. But if you have an idea of something that you'd like my wife and I to cover this Friday, drop it in the chat room separately from this one, because it might get lost in all the comments. We got almost 200 comments here, so I don't want it to get lost in that, because you guys can still respond to each other. But what you can do is drop it in a separate one. I'll see it, tag me, and tag my wife if you like, and just, hey guys, why don't y'all think about covering this, and we'll figure it out for Friday. Let me be going, guys. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Thank you for all the love in the chat room, because it goes down in the chat room. You guys are on point as always. I will see you. I'll pin this to the top, and I'll probably start a watch party sometime tomorrow for anybody that missed it, because they don't stay up this late. I know a couple people said they don't stay up this late. Good night, guys. I appreciate you all. Have a great night. Take it easy.